present in the energy of something that I spoke about today in an interview I had, and also something that I guess is relevant in terms of our lives and understanding how we hold back the ability for us to understand our feelings and trying to feel our feelings as opposed to hiding them in the physical body and allowing them to get lost in the process. So today is Shamanic Journey number 92, to feeling our emotions. And that's probably one of the most difficult things for us to do, is to really dive into feeling as opposed to thinking. And long ago, many years ago, I thought about that subject, and some of my mentors and teachers were speaking to me about the subject of feeling what you experience as opposed to thinking what you experienced. And I guess the best way of putting it was that I was verbalizing what I was feeling rather than actually just sitting and feeling. And feeling is not comfortable, especially if it's over something negative, over a trauma that we experienced or that we went through. And what happens is that we look for the path of least resistance, and that usually comes in the form of looking for people that will listen to us tell our story about something, as opposed to us sitting with it and changing the energy that exists within us. And I know for example, let me just shut that battery off. I know, for example, that I've had different physical ailments in my body that appeared after a traumatic experience or stresses that existed. But we somehow get lost in the moment of not being able to tie the experience with the aftermath of what the physical feeling is, that sensation that exists in the body. And so what we do is we forget, we have like amnesia over something, and we lose track of what we're actually feeling. The key for us is to maintain the sense of going inward and actually feeling a situation, that when we feel the temptation to run away from something, that's when we need to go back in and really feel that emotion or feel that feeling, and working through it so that we can overcome it. And usually hear words and people speaking about things, and it's very difficult to understand what somebody's saying if you don't actually feel it, if it's not pertinent to the moment in your life nor relevant to what you're going through. But if you stay the course and you are proactive in respecting your journey, then eventually all the stuff that you learn, we're speaking about, I'm discussing tonight, comes our way and follows us and assists us. So, for an example, when I'm writing a book, and I've mentioned this with other people, and in the process of writing the book, I'm feeling the emotions I felt from the situation I'm writing about, which was when I was a child. And that specific trauma stirred up physical emotions in me and physical feelings in me that if I didn't pay attention to it, I wasn't vigilant in concentrating on that, then I wouldn't understand why my skin was eventually burning, or I had, case of eczema, or the feeling of not being able or not wanting to feel that an emotion can actually cause a physical reaction in our body. And so what we do is we suppress it, because we don't want to give too much life to something that can create some type of stress in our lives, but yet it does. So what's important for us is to pay homage to those feelings and to recognize that the body is telling us what it wants from us in the process. So what does it want from us, right? It wants us to change something so that we can live a more health-filled life, and also one that's authentic to ourselves. And so what I'd like to do today is I'd like for us to journey to your spirit animal and see which spirit animal comes through, and what what emotion that you're experiencing that needs to be recognized, validated, and cleared, so that your body doesn't have to be the map to alert you to that, but Your subconscious mind will communicate it to you through your spirit animal or whatever information you get and pass that information on to you. Okay, so I'd like to start journeying. Okay, taking a deep breath in. Okay, let's take a deep breath in, closing your eyes, either sitting or standing, and going on our journey to getting in touch with our emotions, okay, and our feelings about them. Okay, take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in and exhale, and let's go. Maybe a little shorter today because I noticed the battery is running out. We enter the forest and the sun is shining on our face. And the trees give off the scent of pine. Beneath us are the blossoming of flowers. And the warmth of the sun, again shining on our face. As we continue on the path in front of us, there's an opening into the base of a cave. And we follow that path, using our hands to navigate. Ahead, the light shines from the other side, and we make our way through. As we continue on the other side, we hear a noise behind us, and we turn around, and we see a spirit animal. What animal do you see? You ask the spirit animal about the emotions that you're experiencing, and which emotions specifically may be showing up in the physical body. And you listen for the answers. as you exit the cave. Following the path, the original path. Taking a deep breath in as the sun shines on your face and warms you. You stop in front of a pine tree. You put your arms and hands around it. You feel the exchange of energy as you take a deep breath in. As the tree absorbs the positive ions and neutralizes your energy. You thank the tree as you release your hands. And you continue walking out of the forest. Okay, take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Take one more deep breath in and exhale. Move your fingers, move your toes, shrug your shoulders, and when you're comfortable, return back to the room and open your eyes. Okay, that was Shamanic Journey number 92, to feeling our emotions. And I mentioned earlier the disconnect that sometimes exists between how we feel and the act of thinking and feeling, in terms of thinking that if we think about something, then we're actually working through the situation. The issue is not so much about thinking, but really what we want to do is we want to feel. We want to feel the emotions that arise within us, and so that they can come through us. And I did a few videos this week about water and the flowing of emotions, and to understand that our emotions are like water. If we put something in the stream to block the water from flowing, it backs up. And many times the act of thinking are those boulders that we place within our body so that we don't feel. And it's important for us to not build any type of barrier between our feelings and our expression of doing that. Because once we start feeling it, we overcome the stresses that exist. And to be vigilant to understand that a certain thought will create a certain feeling. And the body is a roadmap of our feelings. You know, for example, we can look at the skin. I mentioned this today in an interview. We had a discussion, which was a very interesting subject, was that the skin is like our barrier between ourselves and the outer world. And sometimes when we have eczema or we have skin conditions, we're really not creating a certain barrier or a boundary between ourselves and other people. And sometimes that comes through in the ability for us to either express ourselves verbally or to actually create a boundary where we respect our space and our autonomy. All right, I want to thank you for joining me this evening, if you're watching it now or you'll watch it on the replay. And again, if you're interested in any of the work that I do with the Akashic Record readings, you can go to my website at adamgaleuniversalhealing.com. And if you're interested, you can check out my podcast, Adam Gale and Inspiring Minds, which is obviously part of this channel. Okay, so I want to thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a great evening, and I hope you're able to work on, or at least have the awareness to recognize your feelings. All right, have a great evening.